character, and whether it's the design, the gameplay programming team, the animation, and then just our character and rigging team, basically the entire studio.
Everybody. Pretty much.
Everybody.
Really, I mean, that's the thing. It really, one thing about Insomniac, it's such a collaborative team and effort,
So nice
and that
to hear.
it wouldn't be possible without stuff. So to finally see it all kind of gel and come together is pretty awesome. Like one of my favorite days at the studio was when we had pretty much everybody represented. We had UI there, everybody, and we were talking about different suit powers and different gadgets. And it was like, I remember walking out of there and telling Ted, our president and CEO, going, this is one of the best meetings I've been in 10 years of working at the company.
Wow.
So it's what makes Insomniac pretty special.
Then that's what goes back to what you said. It feels like your game.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me, hearing that, just, big old smile on my face.
Puts a smile on our face, too.
Yeah, that's how it should do. I'm sorry, I'm just watching the I'm absolutely mesmerized.
You're more than welcome to just watch.
I'm like,
we can shut up and just watch it.
I know. Now, this has been absolutely incredible. I guess this was like a side mission we picked up?
Yeah, so basically this was an Inner Demon base that, so after you take down Wilson Fisk, a new gang comes into town, the Inner Demons, and they have different installments throughout, and basically what you're doing, you're clearing these things out, and after you complete it, you actually get currency that you can use to customize your Spider-Man. So you could use it to like unlock a new suit, an upgrade, a gadget, or craft a new gadget, new suit mods, and I think it really, we realized really early as we showed the game early to people, the suits are really important to people, like
yes,
really important.
Yeah.
We've heard all the requests, and
you're like, yeah.
And Gavin, if you're out there, thank you. Gavin's our lead character artist, and just having that that carrot to kind of customize your Spider-Man how you want him to do. And the trait is that however you look in the like when you're playing, if you go to a cutscene, he's wearing that outfit. So
that's what I like.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I was going to say, it was kind of funny because there's a lot of really big Spider-Man fans on the character team. So then originally we're like, oh, maybe we'll just do a couple. And then just more and more Spider-Man skins kept showing up. Sometimes even without requests, right?
My favorite is, so Gavin, our lead character artist, will maybe like a Saturday morning, and he'll just text me a picture of a work in progress suit. And he'll just do his, come on, like ... And then I'm emailing Marvel going, so, ... And they usually give a thumbs up. So it's just all of us kind of fulfilling a dream that we've wanted for a long time. And when you see the other suits in the game, they look so damn good. Like just the materials and everything, just it's so good.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most excited about, and I can't wait for fans to play the game and check out how many suits there are. People have been tweeting us forever and asking for all these suits, and I wish I could tell you what they were, but you guys are going to have your minds blown when you actually...
There's a lot of suits.
I mean, I would quite happily right now just take this demo and just see what I could find in it, but maybe I wouldn't get that lucky. It says focus bar full. Tell me a little bit about what that means.
Right.
So the focus bar is sort of represents how your flow in combat and traversal, and then you can use that for one of two things. You can either use it to instantly take down an enemy, or you can use it to heal. And so it's a little bit of risk reward in the gameplay system that lets your basically your performance determine how you want to succeed, right? So that's what you're doing, and you can actually build that up through like acrobatic combat, whether it's using webs, getting into the air, or actually doing cool traversal moves as well, swinging around the open world.
Rob hasn't taken his eyes off the screen. I don't think Rob doesn't realize he's on the stage anymore. He's just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, do you have any questions for us?
Can you climb to the top of the Freedom Tower?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Not in this demo. Yeah, it's on the other side of the city, but yes, you can.
Empire State's in this.
And also you can go to Avengers Tower as well if you want.
You can climb on anything.
Yeah, you can pretty much. There's nothing you can't climb on.
Is the whole of New York like available right from the get-go? Can you swing around the whole?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, we send you to Fisk Tower pretty quickly. Like the game opens up with you getting basically an alert that hey, we're going after Fisk right now. Get your butt here, and you start swinging toward it. Then you finish that mission, and the whole city's open to you.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's you can explore it from the pretty much the minute after you defeat Fisk.
Yeah, that's one of the things. There's so many things to do in the open world. It's super distracting.
Yeah.
So every time I play the game, I'm trying to test it or check out something, but then I get really, really distracted with the open world, and then I never get back to the golden path. Yeah. So it's awesome.
Like I've gotten to that point where we're coming to the end, right? We're looking at bugs, but there's times where you just like, the swinging is so like calming and relaxing. It's a point where I say this, and this means a compliment. You almost take it for granted because it's so easy just to get in the flow of things, and it almost becomes like therapeutic. Like it's relaxing to swing through the city after a hard day of working. You just
Are you trying to say making games
City.
is stressful, Brian?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's like we will continue to work on Traversal till the producers tell us we can't work on it anymore.
Until that is it. Guys, it's got to ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about some of the colored beams of light we kind of see now and again on the map. I'm assuming they represent things that we can do, but what are those particular things?
Oh, the beams.
Yeah.
No, basically is, you can go to, you can hit pause and go look at the pause menu, right? But like, we want to keep Spider-Man moving. So you basically just kind of ping the world, and your kind of visors gives you a view of all the activities in the area. So like the green represents one of Peter's old backpacks, and there's a collectible in there that kind of gives you a little bit more of the history of his 8 years of being Spider-Man. You'll see red is for the active crimes in the area, and then there's ones for bases, research stations. So research stations are these quests that you can go on, and the research stations are actually run by Harry Osborn, your best friend, who's out of town. And he's like, hey, Pete, can you swing by? You're a smart guy. But he doesn't know you're Spider-Man. So he just thinks you're this smart scientist who's going to solve these problems. But of course, we solve them as Spider-Man. So we have all these, and these are just a handful of the activities that you can do in the world.
So I just saw the high five, and I was
it's
like,
one of those
so
things, we
cool.
just like the beams or lighters kind of, we want you to be able to get where you want to go quickly without kind of stopping the game.
This is amazing. I'm a little worried that I think we're coming to the end of our time here on stage.
And
I'm not sure I want to do that. I just want to keep on watching the Traversal.
Well, it's playable at the show, so, you know, swing by.
It is. Rob, any final questions you'd like to ask the team?
Are there like any expert level traversal moves that you can unlock? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the parkour elements in there, looking for the water towers that you can zip through, how you get through like the fire escapes, you know, just kind of that. I think it's ways to use like your perch jump, all those extra little layers that they should be easy to execute, but once you kind of start chaining them together, you feel pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, you can unlock a few moves that the whole idea is to chain things together, both in combat and traversal. And so there's ones where you can chain the perch jump into a big spring and go really, really far. You can actually do that from the ground as well, so you can target, or spring out of the dive fall, go all the way ground, and then spring really fast out of it.
Amazing.
Keeping you moving is the main idea.
I feel like we were finishing it, but it's all kicking off now. Like
now you get to the shock.
Well, now we're gonna have to carry on, guys, because I need to see what happens here.
So I mean, this, like I said, we wanted to bring a lot of villains to E3. So this is actually the Shocker, who you meet early on in the game, and of course he.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're happy. Here's the Shocker for you, and you know, Shocker is robbing a bank, so we got to take care of business.
Classic bad guy move.
Exactly.
Don't rob a bank.
Yep.
Or banks in New York City.
It's a very fancy bank.
It's a very fancy bank. So this is what you call like a boss battle?
This would be a boss encounter. So you actually, early on in the game, will run into Shocker. He actually ends up robbing somewhere else, and you actually chase him down, and eventually later on, he's trying to finish the job, and it's your job to stop him.
It looks.
And we'll have other villains that we haven't revealed yet as well.
Oh, you still haven't revealed more?
Yeah,
even after last night.
We didn't figure this would be enough, so you know, we have. Again, it's like one of those things you need some great boss fights and a lot of villains to have that true superhero experience.
This is incredible. What do you think? Are we nearing the end of this boss fight, do you reckon?
Actually, it's going to probably go on for a little bit. It's the tougher things.
Well, I guess we will leave it
Well,
there.
people can come play it and finish it.
Well, not the people at home. That's
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sure there's videos of it online.
Okay.
And we'll be doing our own probably live stream at the office, and we'll talk to you more about the game. So join into the Insomniac live stream. I think we're going to do one on Friday.
What's the URL for that? Just people come watch?
Just go to insomniacgames.com or go to the Insomniac Games Twitter feed, and I'm sure it's all there.
Cool. Any final closing words for people watching at home who are just so excited for Spider-Man? Anything you want to share with them?
I guess for me, like one of the things that I've loved doing on this game, just interacting with the fans. The fans have been absolutely so passionate and supportive as we've been creating this Spider-Man game. And I'm so excited that a lot of you guys are here today, and I hope you guys get a chance to check out the demo. And obviously, play the game when it comes out on September 7th.
Special shout out to the Spidey Squad.
Oh, Spidey Squad.
Where's the Spidey Squad? Hands up.
They follow the game a lot, so thank you again for your guys' continued support.
Oh,
Yeah, I
guys.
mean, as excited as people are, we're excited to have the game out there and have it here at E3 playable.
Guys, thank you so much. Everybody, that is it from us on the Spider-Man panel. There's loads more content coming up, so if you're watching at home, please stay tuned. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much. You've made Rob's day. He is the happiest man in the world.
E3 is
Either
made.
way,
Beautiful.
please stay tuned. There's loads more coming up from PlayStation here at E3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks really good. But we have a few months that comes out. It's currently June, of course, and come out in September. So it's a little disappointing. But yeah, oh well. So I don't know.
Okay, I got the security cameras back online.
How's it look?
Well, it looks like the entire population of the raft has escaped. That makes 5 of your worst enemies that are now on the loose.
For a second there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. I have to go. Some of them are heading into the city.
This is nuts.
Welcome back, everybody. PlayStation Live from E3 2018. Justin and Meredith here, along with Dom, Jeff, and Arjun from Pixel Opus. Thank you guys so much for being here.
It's good to be here.
Thank you.
So we are here to take a new look at Concrete Genie, which got announced a while ago. We haven't seen a ton of gameplay yet. We've seen a lot of cool video clips. We've heard some beautiful music coming out of it. But now we are here to do a gameplay demo. Let's hop right in and take a look.
Start it up.
So would one of you like to just give us a quick explanation of what we're seeing here as we come into this demo?
Well, so Concrete Genie is a game about a boy called Ash who can bring his paintings to life. I think we talked about that at PSX back in December. We did a bit of the demo for how the painting works. And at E3 here, we're going to start showing how more of the gameplay loop is coming together. And so you're trying to revitalize this town called Denska that's had an environmental disaster befall it. And your magical paint can actually bring it back to life and bring the light back to this town. And so that's what we're going to see after this little cutscene that introduces the bullies.
Okay, great. Let's take a look.
I love the depth of the color in it. I mean, I know there is a painting element to it, but it really does look like an oil painting in a lot of ways.
Wow, thank you.
Oh, great. Yeah, we really want to make sure that everything feels like it's handcrafted. We put a lot of attention to detail in everything in the world.
Yeah, it shows.
Great.
So these guys are going to be coming back later to make it difficult for you to paint throughout the town.
Making a daring escape.
Yeah. So now this is the bit that we've built in to kind of show how the painting mechanics work.
Okay.
And so Arjun's going to just kind of take us through the tutorial. So use the motion controller on the DualShock. So it's super intuitive and really easy to use. And then the R2 trigger paints whatever you have selected.
It looks magical already. Look at that.
Yeah, we've worked really hard to make it as intuitive and as fun and as joyous as we possibly can. And we want to make sure that anybody who plays it feels like they could be an artist with this game, because that's like a really
I definitely am
part.
not. I'm not an artist, so I will put this to the test.
Well, and the really fun thing as well, just in this morning, seeing people play the game for the first time, which is, you know, obviously a scary moment for us.
Sure.
Because we've been working so hard to kind of deliver that promise that anybody can make something that looks great with this game. And sure enough, you know, everyone's painting very differently, but it always looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And they feel like they did it, which is really, really important.
So good reactions so far.
Yeah, so
to the
far,
gameplay
really
on
good
board,
reactions, yeah.
We want every paint stroke to feel like it's almost like hand animated and comes to life. And Arjun's one of our engineers, so he's not part of the art department, but a very creative guy. But you can see he's able to paint with ease.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see people paint in different ways. Sometimes they want to paint by you know, putting 100 suns or rainbows, or so you can paint in a very abstract way, or be very delicate about your paintings also.
Yeah.
And this is another key component. So it's not just making landscapes. You can make your own creatures as well.
Oh, okay.
And they have a lot of gameplay purpose, depending on how you paint them. The color gives them innate abilities as well. So the red creatures have fire abilities, and they can help you solve puzzles. And we're going to see a bit of that coming up later as well. And then depending on all the attachments that you add onto them, it gives them different personalities as well.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a kind of fun thing to discover.
Kind of like those antlers that he's putting on.
Yeah. And you can, again, you can add onto it however you want to. And then you get to bring them to life and start making this cast of friends to kind of explore the world with you.
And once
he's a friendly
brought to life, you can no longer edit him, or he's really alive within the game.
Ah, okay, good to know.
And these lights that you see on the walls, this is how we kind of quantify painting in the world, because we don't want to judge what you're actually creating. So the game doesn't sit there and say, hey, you're painting well, you're painting badly. We just have these lights up, and as you paint, it turns the lights on. And so when you've brought all the lights back to life, that's when you've completed this section of the world as well.
So you kind of have an idea, instead of just being set loose in this giant empty world and not really knowing where to go, it gives you a little bit of direction that way. Yeah.
Now, can you paint on any of the surfaces in the game, or are there only specific surfaces where the paint will work?
You can paint on any of the walls anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And you know, that was another hope, was that everybody's game would look different, which is really important. So you have this kind of more custom, unique experience. And sure enough, you know, everybody's games that we've seen playing the demo today, completely different. And all the creatures are completely different as well.
So we're go ahead.
Even how you paint the creature changes their animation. So if you paint the creatures horizontally, they act more like animals. They'll howl and scratch at the ground. And,
wow.
And this is how they communicate with you. So we wanted to make sure that the relationship that you have with your creature has some depth to it. And they'll ask you for things. In this case, he wants a fire pit. And as far as the creatures are concerned, you're just making a home for them whenever you're painting these landscapes. And so now he wants some dandelions. And once you do the things that they ask, they'll start giving you things in return as well. And so when the creatures are happy with you like this, they can actually charge up your brush.
Super paint.
And give you super paint,
Thanks, pal.
So what's the super paint do?
Well, so as I mentioned earlier on, there's this environmental disaster that's kind of befallen this fishing town, which is why everybody's moved away. And this darkness that covers the walls can only be burnt off by your supercharged paint. And it clears it off in this very magical fashion.
Wow.
But super paint is also kind of painting writ large, so it's kind of overcharged. Everything's bigger, brighter, larger when you paint with super paint as well.
Okay, so it says we've completed 1 out of 3 zones. Is that kind of what the progression is going to look like as you complete
per
zones
level,
and then you move to a different level?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And when you've finished all the different zones in the level, the masterpiece beacon is illuminated. And there's a special location within each level where you get to go and paint a huge masterpiece. And that's how you kind of wrap up each level.
I feel some echoes of Entwined in there, because it was kind of a similar thing where at the end you got to just kind of like go nuts and form. And,
that's right. And actually, it's the same button gesture to activate Super Paint as it was to turn into the dragon in Entwined as well. Yeah.
Now, are the creatures that you've created in Zone 1, are they then contained to the world of Zone 1, or do the creatures follow you into other levels?
They don't. They're actually landlocked. It's part of the level design. And so there's different places where you can paint and create these creatures throughout the world. But they stay there. And, you know, we thought about, do we want them to come with you the whole time? And actually, it's nice to miss them, you know. And when you come back to them, they're happy to see you. And so you kind of remember where they are. And they'll always help you when you go back to them as well. So we've actually found that that's been a better balance.
Hey, over here.
So that was a really cool example of how the painting interacts with the world and kind of opens up pathways for you to kind of burn down that door there using, that was his firepower.
That was his fire abilities, yeah.
What are some other ways that the paintings can interact with the environment?
So there's, as you progress through the different levels, you unlock different colors. And those different creatures have other abilities. And we've tried to make them very intuitive and elemental. So yellow creatures have electricity. And I'm not going to give away too many of the other ones, but you'll unlock them as you go through the game.
Now, we just got a prompt about escaping bullies on this level.
So they're about to come and start hounding and making life difficult for Ash. So these are the bad guys in the game, and you saw them in the cutscene earlier on. And so as you now, the game has kind of opened up into this mini open neighborhood. And they're landlocked as well, so they stay at the street level, but the rooftops is Ash's space. And so he has a kind of agile platforming moveset, and he can clamber up to the rooftops and get up there and get away from them and try and avoid them and lure them around the level. So that's the thing that's putting pressure on you, is you're trying to cover this space with your artwork.
Let's see.
And what was that he just
He just found a brush. So before this chunk of gameplay, the bullies have stolen his sketchbook, and they've ripped all the pages out and scattered them into the wind.
I remember that from the reveal trailer.
That's right. And so they're kind of floating around as well, gives you something to chase. But you get this cool gameplay reward every time you catch one, which is a new painting technique.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And do those affect the gameplay in tangible ways as well, or are they more just kind of stylish?
They do, because the creatures really want you to paint specific things at certain points. So there's a handful of brushes that you have to find in each level.
Okay.
And then at the masterpiece painting at the end, you'll get to use all of them to bring to life the final kind of destination. So he wants a cherry tree brush, which Arjun has thankfully just found.
You just paint it right there for him.
Yeah.
You can see we have over 3 levels of animation when you paint a tree. And we really want to give the person the feeling that it's coming alive, like a moving illustration. And when the bullies come around your artwork, it actually changes. It freezes and loses all its color. Sort of a manifestation of how Ash feels when he's being bullied.
I see.
So do you have to repaint all those places when the bullies come through?
No, so when they leave the area, it comes back to life.
Gotcha.
It's meant to reflect his mood, but it's also the fact that they can't see it as alive because they don't have the imagination to see it. So when they're around, it completely kind of dies and desaturates, and the creatures get frozen as well.
I see. I predict that will have some gameplay implications in terms of the puzzles and all that.
Absolutely.
So that painting mechanic is really, really robust, but also seems very accessible. How many iterations did you go through before you landed on the version of that felt just right?
We've had several attempts at getting to the place we're at now, and it wasn't until we let you really freely paint with a cursor that we felt that we'd answered that kind of player expectation and that fantasy of making you feel like an artist. And so, you know, that was our third kind of stab at it. And then we've had about a year and a half since then to have it manifest into the game that you see right now.
Now, I know the music is really important, but it sounds to me, and I know it's a little loud here in the convention center, but it sounds to me as if each brushstroke has a different tone associated with it.
That's right. So this is something that we've been working on this year as well, just to help encourage every player to keep painting. Each brush has its own melodic instrument attached to it. And so, kind of like Entwined as well, we care deeply about our dynamic soundtrack. And Sam Marshall, our audio director and composer, has designed this amazing system where each brush has its own sound and it plays in the same key as the soundtrack, and it's perfectly in time with the music as well. So when you're painting, you feel like you're contributing to the soundtrack as well.
Seems like quite the engineering feat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, music is so important.
It really is.
Creating a really emotional gaming experience, I think.
We've designed levels within the world where you can just kind of sit and paint and spend time composing whatever you'd like. And it's really nice because you can have the action part, but you can also take time to make really beautiful little compositions for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, on the note of the music, I remember there was a song that we released from the, what was it, the PGW trailer?
Yeah, that's right, from Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was such a beautiful song. I'm really looking forward to hearing more of the music in the game.
Absolutely. We're so lucky to have Sam on board, and he's been with us since the very beginning of the project, which we think makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Having somebody representing and speaking about the audio from the very initial design is what enables us to have it so thoroughly integrated into the gameplay. And Sam contributes to the design of the game as well, which is great. And you can see the creature reacting to everything that Arjun's painting as well. So they're kind of like an in-game audience for you.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll try and kind of, they'll pick up the dandelions and blow them, or eat the apples, hide behind the trees, or sit down by the campfire and things like that.
Do the creatures interact with each other as well as interact with Ash?
Yeah.
They do.
And as the game progresses and the puzzles get more complicated, you might need creatures with different sets of abilities to combine and solve things as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can see we've added a fair bit of color to this dreary landscape.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're coming up on time here, but is there anything else any other cool stuff that we wanted to check out before we let you go?
I think that's all the basics that we wanted to cover, yeah.
Okay, great, cool. Any final message for the fans watching at home or for our fans out in the audience here?
Well, we just can't wait for people to get their hands on it. And thank you for being patient as well while we're finishing the game, which is great.
Great, cool. Are you talking about a release window or anything like that yet?
Not just yet. Not just yet, but TBD.
Well, you're making excellent progress. Meredith, anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'll be waiting for that TBD notice to go out.
Right. Cool. Well, that is Concrete Genie. It is coming to PlayStation 4. Thank you all so much for joining us. The game looks just positively beautiful.
Thank you.
Looks fantastic. So
thanks for having us.
Keep an eye out for that. We'll have more news at PlayStation Blog as we learn more. But stay tuned because we will have more coming up at PlayStation Live from E3 2018.
I had a good crew. We were brothers.
Watch it, they got a 50 caliber down there. It's an ambush! Abort! Abort! Python 2-5, we're going down!
Python 2-5, reading you loud and clear. This is Firebase Echo. We've got our hands full here. You've got to come to us for extraction.
Copy that. I'm coming to you.
Hey, we're back here, E3 2018, Twitch, you know where to be. Adrian, Terry, DJ Tech Frank Live, Tech Frank Live. You know. All the different names. This is one of the most important segments of the day because if there's any game, come on, it's okay. We can say it. It's Division 2.
Division 2.
Right?
Yes.
Great game.
Thank
Division
you.
1.
I had a lot of fun with Division.
Right.
Yes.
We want to keep
absolutely.
having fun with Division,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's the main thing. People want to have fun with Division more no matter what.
Yeah.
And there's been articles and things where you read about, you said this is not the game we envisioned maybe, and we want to be better. So let's talk about that idea of being better. What can Division 2 do for us in that respect?
Well, I think the best way to phrase it would be the Division 2 is it's sort of the next evolution in open world online RPG shooters.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, that's probably a pretty bold statement.
It's extremely bold.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that we helped create this genre, you know, this RPG shooter genre, right? You know, we're super proud of that. We've touched everything, right? We've taken all the 2 years of live, because we've been around for 2 years now, making constant updates. You guys know all about the updates we do to improve and listen to the community. And so we listened to all that, we just stored it away. And now we're executing on all of it. So, I mean, that's the super broad way to say it, but everything's better.
No, I mean, I think this first step is admitting and then, you know, seeing your faults and then dominating it and working on it and showing it. And not too much talk, but actually showing it. And I think that's what you guys are doing well. Yeah. Speaking of which, open world. That's been a word that was very loosely used throughout the years of many games, but you guys are truly going from an open world standpoint. You have Washington, it looks great.
Thank you.
It runs smooth, I can say that from personal experience.
Thank you.
What went into really making sure that the game was fully optimized out the gate and getting that world so rich and beautiful as you have done?
Well, we're still optimizing, right? And I think I can share this, but we opened up the beta, right? I think it was yesterday. Broke Ubisoft records, like fastest, most people. So we're gonna have plenty of technical tests, right? Just to make sure our metal is solid from the beginning. But it starts with the building of the world. That's a hallmark, I think, of our brand, right? That one-to-one recreation. I mean, Manhattan, right? You could go to your house in Manhattan. Absolutely. We're taking it a step further with DC. So we're using GIS data, like we're going hard, right, to make sure that all those landmarks, you know, the Capitol Building, Lincoln Memorial, all that stuff, like it's there. It's there. The second part of the open world, I'm kind of a blabbermouth. Hope you guys don't.
No, this is your game. This is what they want.
This is what we want to hear.
They want to hear about. We want to hear this.
You know, there was some feedback with the first game that maybe the open world could have been more lively.
Yeah,
right?
that's
what we're driving.
Just
right? So
cards and snow, and that's it.
It's dynamic, right? It's systemic. There's going to be regular systemic interactions that kind of create new tactical opportunities all the time. So at E3 here in the demo, you've probably seen videos from and things like that. So one of those actions is called Control Point. And so you've got enemy factions, right? We can only talk about the True Sons. Even then, I can't really talk about too much, but we've got a lot of new enemy factions. And you've got the civilians, and the civilians aren't pansies this time around. So it's 7 months after, you know, the Green Poison, right? So the pockets of civilians now, they have had to fight to get here. And so they're armed.
They're grinders like you.
Yeah, they will help you in places like this control point. So you can actually call them in. I don't want to get too sidetracked because all these things kind of layer onto each other. But you have all these groups of AI that have needs and goals, and so they're going to be moving around the open world, you know, going to places like these control points because they have resources in them. And so the enemy factions need the resources. So do the civilians. Of course, you want to help the civilians because you're a good guy, right? I mean, come on, you're not in the dark zone yet, right?
Yeah,
so I mean, you know, so you're going out there, and that's going to be dynamic. So who controls it is going to be different every time you go there, right? So the world.
So now the world's actually living.
The world is living, and that's just one activity. Like it's not. It's the control point is just one activity. So when you step out into the open world, you don't know what are you going to see, and so there's going to be alerts and things happening off and popping off, and you can. I'm going to help these people, and I'm going to go do my own thing, you know, whatever. So it's
things
alive.
to do.
It's alive. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of which, Alive is a big Tom Clancy games, as we know, really touch on realistic points. And a lot of people that are brand new coming to the game are a little taken back from the ones they played before. They're like, okay, you know, RPG standpoint, you meet these both worlds together.
Yeah.
Now, to combat the problem that people have been having of, oh, I sniped this guy in the face, he's still standing 3 times deep. You guys added armor, I seen, to the bosses. Yeah.
To the player too.
Yeah, and to the player,
And to the player.
And stuff is falling off left
Yes.
and right. There's more dynamic. events happening while you're fighting.
Yeah.
Was that a direct counter to that issue?
Well, obviously we heard a lot of feedback about kill times.
Right.
You know, kill times, that's an important element of any game that have weapons, you know, like guns and stuff.
Bullet sponges.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, we've improved kill times, just flat out, you know, across the board. Kill times against AI, kill times against players. But let's remember, we are an RPG.
Yes.
This is an element. So in an RPG, you need that kill time topography, I think.
Yeah.
You know, not everything needs to die instantly. Of
course.
And so that armor bar is one visualization for the player to help you understand, why isn't this guy dying? Oh, he's got armor. In fact, I can see how heavily armored he is based on the science and feedback that, you know, we show on those enemies. And then that's just a UI element, but of course, then you've got the actual 3D elements just chunking off into that chewy nougat.
Not with all of them, right? That's not just one enemy you see it happening to. Every enemy who has armor will have that.
If I can be a gamey term, like the Reds, you know, the grunt elements, they probably won't have armor, right? I mean, we're still making the game, so don't quote me on that, but there'll be enemies that don't have there'll be enemies that don't have armor bars, but all the players will in the tougher. So yes, I mean, we've addressed it.
Yeah, the purples and the golds, of course. Last night I got to experience it hands-on. It felt satisfying. It wasn't just shooting a person and going to move to the next target. I was just like, oh my God, guys, let's aim for this side. This side is messing us up. He's doing a little bit more damage on this side. He's a little vulnerable on that side.
Yeah. That's good communication. What a good player.
Yeah,
and that's being toxic.
Yeah, just perfect.
And that's the thing that I know is really good about this one is communication was needed.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't just go in and start going guns a blazing because we were actually getting hurt.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about kill times too, right?
Yeah.
What's that going to do to cover usage, right?
That's true.
You know, you could say that there's also a lot of feedback about players face tanking. Right, and just not using cover.
The AI is smarter.
Yeah, so
I know that one.
You're going to have to use cover maybe more than you did, depending on how you build. Right, again, I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of build variety, but it's lethal to stay outside of cover. So you know, you're going to have to work on that.
I imagine you can't. Maybe I don't want to assume supposition here, but I don't know how much of this you can go into.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of players, obviously, who are going to play your game. There are the ones who love this in-game aspect, who love the PvP, the raid idea that you guys have, which is fantastic, right?
Thank you.
And then there are the ones who are like, yeah, I like shooting stuff, but I also want a little bit of a story along the way. Not just one to shoehorn in there because it has to have a story, but something that I'm going to play and say, you know what? I actually did enjoy that. I know what's going on, and I'm a part of that. How do you guys balance that?
Well, I mean, we had a lot of positive feedback about the 1 through 30 experience in the first game, we've improved that. And your participation in the story, right, I think it's gonna feel very organic, right? It's not going to be so much as like you have to go here and you have to do this kind of thing, but it's you know, that open world that I talked about.
You see that red point over there? That's where you gotta go.
I mean,
go over here instead.
You know, of course there are missions, right? Of course there are story missions, and of course we're exploring a new story, you know, in the Division 2 that's going to be just as gripping as the first one, but. You know, we're not going to necessarily grab you by the nose and say, you need to go here right now, right? It's here when you want to go.
Okay, player choice. Yeah. Speaking of choices, I don't know if I can call them classes. Specializations a little bit more down that line, right?
Yeah.
Say the C word.
Not the C word.
That's bad.
Specializations. I played last night Demolitionist.
Yes.
And wow, okay.
Yeah.
Got the special ammo.
Yeah.
Whipped it out. It was easy to take out. The controls are very easy.
Nice.
And you felt powerful at that point. It wasn't like, okay, here I have a weapon that just does moderate damage. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go back to the regulars. No, I wanted to use it constantly. And the way that you limited it made you had a choice. Either go out there and run and grab that after you kill them and can risk the whole mission, or stay back.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind making specializations and why?
Well, specializations are the end game progression.
Okay.
So you make it through the leveling game, you get to max level, and you're not done. Now you have another sort of, let's just call it it's not a progression tree, but that's so people can understand. And you're going to pick a specialization, and now you have a myriad of choices to make about your build and what that does to your build. Ammo, other things that I can't talk about because it's super secret, but it's going to be, if you pick the Demolitionist and I pick the Demolitionist, our Demolitionist is going to be different.
Okay.
Right? Your sharpshooter is going to be different than some other sharpshooter. So there's going to be choices to make. You get to experience those specializations as you spend time with them. And they're not mutually exclusive either. So
I was going to ask. Yeah, if I want to pick up a bow, I can pick up a bow?
You're not, you can you can play with one for a while, and then we group up, and you're like, well, we have 3, sharpshooters. All right, I'll switch out.
If I want to pick up the game, how can I do that?
If you don't pick up the game?
How can I pick the game up later on? Where can I get it? When can I get it?
Oh,
Where
specializations?
No, information on it. Like,
Oh,
where can we get the game?
Yeah, March 15th comes out March 15th. Jeez. Did I just lose that lead altogether?
And I just, and you were like,
what? I fumbled the ball.
Oops.
No, he was just excited to talk about specializations.
Yeah. March 15th, right? That comes out March 15th next year. Ubisoft.com, right? The Division game on Twitch.
Twitter,
Twitch, all that
everywhere.
stuff. Yeah, everywhere.
Right.
Check it out, buy it, love it.
Check it out, buy it, love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry. It was a
Thank
pleasure,
you very
dude.
much.
Thank you so very much.
My pleasure, guys.
Games and tosses and football and fumbles. Stay tuned for more games, though.
I'm a gamer.
E3 2018.
Rated Teen.
You think that things are going to turn out differently, huh? Well, the ones before you did too. Because they believed that they were in control. And control... Here's the thing. We are seduced by it, but we never really possess it. You think that you can control nature. I know, however, what I would predict.
Do you really wanna love me that like you say you do? Give it to me like you say you do. Cause it's warm enough for you.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. AJ, come on. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream.
Don't forget to scream.
Come on, you love this one.
It's a bad song. You shouldn't scream. Ever. Screaming brings monsters.
Yeah, you're right, kiddo. This song was written before, when kids didn't have to worry about monsters.
I don't remember a time without monsters.
I know. What's the first rule?
Never go alone.
Never go alone. Right. And what do we do when the monsters come?
We shoot them in the head.
And what else?
Always save the last bullet for yourself.
Now, what what do you do if I get bit?
Welcome back, everybody. You just saw the trailer for the Walking Dead Telltale series, the final. Now, is it the final season?
Final season.
Final season. The final season. Oh my God! And in true Walking Dead style, that trailer was pretty brutal and really real. And I really enjoyed it. We're joined here by Kira, and also we've got James Windler and Melissa Hutchison, the voice of Clem.
Yeah, yay!
Yay! Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming on down. I was telling her backstage that I caught her live performance at the San Diego Comic-Con a couple years ago, and it was really cool to see the faces behind the voices. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
We're here to talk about what's coming up. You saw the release date there, 8/14. August 14th. August 14th. Yep, super excited about that.
You don't know what 8/14.
Yeah. In case you're
month challenged.
So this is called the final season, and where in the storyline or where in the timeline does this pick up?
This picks up post Time Jump in the comics. So we're a number of years after the end of season 3 in our storyline. Clementine is on the road with AJ. She's now a capable and fierce survivor, and AJ is this orphan child who represents the closest thing that she has to family, and they are on the road at the end of the road. Basically, they realize that it's untenable, and they find this secluded school where there are no adults, and recognize that this community might be a place that they could call home.
Okay.
So that's where we are. That's where we're the kind of starting point of the final season.
Now, did you go into it knowing that this was going to be the final season, or did you just have a story that was like, this has got to be it?
I think Clem's story, we have to know when a good story ends.
Absolutely.
And I think that, this is the time for it. So.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I'm just kidding.
No, that's actually
season 42.
Right. So I mean, there's
yeah.
There are people out there that would watch and buy these games in this series, especially with you voicing Clem forever and ever, amen, until ad infinitum. But I agree with you. I think it's a good idea to have, like, if you've got a good story, it's good to have a good end as well. I wanted to ask you, as far as dealing with the voice acting. How did the time jump affect how you played Clem?
Not much. This from season 3 to 4. Vocally, if we're going that route.
That's what I was talking. Yes,
no, there's really hasn't been any change in that.
Okay.
It's season 3. She was already a proper teenager, I'd say. So she's there. She's still there.
How about attitude?
It's interesting because in 3, she definitely she'd been alone, and there was without saying too much because I don't want to get into any spoilery type things. That's a word. She's with AJ, so she's in a role of caretaker. So she's also the essence of season 1 Clem, the polite little innocent girl. She really wants to instill into AJ, I don't want to say manners. Where are your manners, AJ?
She wants to teach him how to be a survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
And the best kind
of survivor. Not a horrible person. Right. Yeah. It's a bad world they live in, so she's doing her best.
No, I honestly, after watching the trailer this time, I just wrote down, Clem's hard AF. She is she's adapted to the world, and she's passing on those skills and that attitude to AJ, which is really cool to see.
Her character, just getting to spend so much time with her and go from what I was talking about in season 1 to where she's at now. She is an amazing young woman, and I am truly honored to give voice to this character. So it's been really cool.
Speaking of that, I asked if I could ask a fan service question, and I just want to know what is maybe one thing that the fans come up to you and say either the most or it's the first thing that they say to you?
Well, there's probably a couple, and this is a tiny bit spoilery, but I mean, come on, these were like from seasons past.
Sure.
It's time. Is Lee coming back, and did I shoot Kenny? So, and I meaning Clem. It's a confusing world I live in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do people have a hard time like separating you from the character, or is it, you know, they know? They know. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing with being, you know, a voice actor is, you know, sometimes on camera actors I've heard, you know, get like you're a horrible human being, you know, if they play like the bad guys, like you do realize I am an actor. Yeah, exactly.
But
that's not me.
Yeah, he didn't do that. It's really cool to meet the fans and talk all things Walking Dead with them. I mean, this is a fan-driven game, so.
And you've been a part of it for how long now?
We've been trying to do the math.
Yeah, we've not been doing the math
the last
on
3
camera.
days.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Subtract 2012 from 2018.
Okay.
It's as simple as that, and we can't figure it out.
It's some number that just defies. Now, hold on. Okay, now we're watching the B-roll here, and this is something.
We've seen a couple of things that have been playing on there, yeah.
Definitely want to bring this up, the new gameplay.
Yeah, so what you just saw there was unscripted combat. So we're introducing segments of unscripted combat to really kind of put the player into the situation and allow them to feel that uncertainty and that fear of living in a world that is overrun by undead. Also, what we're seeing, I think, we might have already gone past it, but we have an over-the-shoulder camera system as well, which is also a break from what we normally do, where we're very much more fixed with the cinematic style. This is just like, again, we're like trying to create the most engaging Walking Dead experience yet. And it just allows the player to explore our environments in great detail. You know, we can also see they're looking really good too with this new graphic black art style.
Does that mean there will be more to explore since we can look around now?
Yeah, there's more to explore. Yeah, there's more to explore. There's even a small collectibles system in it, and yeah, so there's definitely more gameplay. Yeah.
And this one is going to be 4 chapters. Is that correct?
It's going to be 4 episodes. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a timeline on when all 4 are going to be out?
Well, you know, yes, but the plan is to get them all out by the end of the year.
Okay. Ooh, that's
so
exciting.
It's a plan. So that's what we're aiming for.
So hopefully that'll work out. If not,
hopefully
that's
that'll
okay.
work out.
I'm like, take your time.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Have you had an opportunity to play these games?
Yeah, I have. I'm actually a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of the franchise since. Well, I watched the show, then I read the comics, and obviously. So, and it's cool because when I play it, I'm actually really able to like get myself out of my performance. And obviously, I don't get to see the background and the ambiance noises and the other actors. So it's really cool. Yeah. So I'm a big fan.
It must be exciting to see your work like in the fully implemented stage and see exactly what it was that you were working on. Since you probably record alone, is that right?
Yeah, I do. I do record alone. Although if the other actors have recorded before me, you know, they'll kind of pipe their lines into the headphones. So I mean, I'm kind of working with the other actors. Yeah, it's a solo adventure. There's just so many as the playable character with all the dialogue branches and choices. You know, it would be crazy to have too many people in the studio at once.
So. Sure.
Can you? Now, it looked like there was like more in-depth combat. Is that the like? It looked like there was like choices you could make during that.
Oh well, so that's just there are multiple kind of ways to take down the zombies. It's not like choice, it's a 2-button system. And it's also unscripted, so it's not a QTE. So it's not, you probably recognize some of the language that looks like our old QTE system where you're like doing button mashes and swipes, etc. This is a step away from that because we're now like free roaming within the combat area. So like there are multiple zombies that you kind of you know, avoid, and you have to time things, and it's just a little bit more engaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go into too much depth in this question, unless of course you want to. But are we gonna see any cool like cameos in the game?
Oh, you know, I can't really spoil.
Can't say
that.
Okay.
Do you really want to? Yeah, you do.
Well, yeah, no, I mean that's like one of the things fans want to know is like, are we gonna see blank character? Are we gonna see Carl or whoever?
Right.
And that's the like because everybody has their favorites. Like and they want to know that. And if you can't, you don't need to spoil it. It's all right. But I'm just hoping, you know, like everybody else, I want to see. Yeah, see? Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch you, but thank you very much for saying that. Some people like to touch. So you can pre-order this now, is that right?
Yeah, it's available for pre-order right now. The release date of the actual game is August 14th.
Okay.
But the pre-order right now, if you order on console, you get the entire collection, the entire prior collection free.
Really?
Yes. So
and what does that include?
That includes the first, the second, I believe the 400 Days and Michonne. It's the entire.
Oh, the whole thing.
The whole collection for $20 if you pre-order now.
Wow,
yeah.
That's
so
really
it's
cool.
a really good deal.
That is a really good deal.
It's a lot of content, and a lot of great content.
Speaking of someone who has played most everything the Walking Dead Telltale series has put out, it is absolutely worth 20. It's worth 60. But if they're going to sell it for 20, take it for 20.
Priceless. I'm just kidding. Wait.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it. I can't wait to have it. It looks like August 14th of this year is when we can start getting some content. So thank you very much for joining us. And stick around. We got more live from E3 on Twitch. Don't go away.
Incendiary out.
All right, I think I'm going to end this here. They don't really have anything coming out anytime soon. Well, like today, I mean. But I'll probably be streaming Jurassic World Evolution on Twitch. I'll have to link Twitch to my YouTube channel, so you guys can watch it. If you're already on Twitch and you're watching, even better. But I'll be streaming that soon, which is what's showing right now. It's actually a lot of fun. I've gotten pretty far. I've gotten a little further into it. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna have to end this here. This is they're not really announcing anything else anymore. I think we've seen it all. I'm trying to look, and I don't know what the lineup is because, let's see, today, yeah, Last of Us was already announced, Rage 2, making of Fallout 76 Transference with Elijah Wood. I don't know what that is. I don't know yet. Tomorrow, nothing new. Yeah, nothing new still. There's Call of Duty Black Ops 4 at 2:45 my time, 3:45 Eastern time. I believe that's what it means. Yeah, there's really nothing else new coming out that they're gonna announce. Because I think they already. Let's see what's. It's 2:45 there. Spotify, Death Gambit, Overkills, Walking Dead. Okay, Starlink, Trials Rising, Jurassic World Evolution, Zone of the Enders, Strange Brigade, still almost. Yeah, so a lot of these are not new. And the E3 website's not showing anything new. So we've missed. I've missed a lot of it. But there's plenty of stuff on YouTube and Twitch showing everything new or everything that's been announced. So until then, yeah, I'm gonna be streaming on YouTube and probably just Twitch. I'll link Twitch to my YouTube if you want to check it out. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Unfortunately, it sucks that there wasn't anything new being announced, but everything just gameplay now. So what I'll do is I will link. No, I'm not gonna. Twitch is done. I'm gonna go to PlayStation, and they can. I'm gonna go to. I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff that's being like shown, but unfortunately I can't show everything. So what I'll do is I'll just have this running on Twitch until it's done, which, oh my gosh, come on. Oh, give me a second, because this is being, no. My computer's being stupid today. Give me a second. It just doesn't want to load. That's cool. Oh, this is so annoying. I don't know where my thing went, but alright. Yeah, so this is... Here's what I'll do. I'll do this. I will have everything playing. It's on autoplay. And this is The Last of Us, so yeah, I'm done, but here you go.
I woke up in the